Hello and welcome to another exciting Blender tutorial. Today we're going to continue with the dump run animation series. Let's get started. Okay, so welcome back. Here we are in the dump run short film. If you haven't watched our other episodes and you're just joining for this one for the first time, this is a really good intro to animation if you have no experience doing animation in Blender. So we've been making this short film for a little while now. This is the second scene, and we're just going to pick up where we left off. So let's get started. These videos tend to be unedited, a bit more informal, and it's more just me working through each shot and talking about what I'm doing. So hopefully you'll learn a lot. Leave a comment down below. Let me know any questions you have, and more importantly, let me know if you're enjoying this series and you want to keep seeing me do it. All right. Now, so we left off last time. We were working on just blocking the animation for this section. So you can see here we've got the nice little moment where our droid character jumps on the arm and the arm swings up and they kind of get shaken around. And what we need to do is transition now to this section. So we've got these two arms here, which we're going to incorporate. So we've got a preview section set up at the moment. So I'm going to hit Alt-P to clear that. And I'm just going to scrub through and just have a look at where we've got the animation on these other arms. So I'm just going to turn back on all of my controllers and everything so we can see what is going on. All right. So I am going to give myself a little bit more room. Actually, don't like my playback here. I want my playback to be just down here. So you can see you could change the windows easily just by finding that little, where is it? I know I'm staring at it. Timeline. There it is. Finding this little cross in the corner and just clicking and dragging up or down to either remove or add a window. Okay. A little bit more room. Got a lot to see here. And let's go for it. All right, so Armature 3 is the one that I've got selected here. And this one is, what's this one? Armature 1. So 1 and 3. Okay, cool. So these two are the ones I want to move their keyframes. So that one's going to come up and look. So I'm going to go ahead and box select both of those groups and just drag these out a little bit because I want that to happen kind of after. I don't know. I think we'll have, I'm not sure if I want to have it. I think I'll have him jump when he goes up. So when he goes up, he'll run, jump onto the other arm. And then this one will come over here, try and grab him. He'll jump onto the other arm. And run, jump. And we're going to have him jump off here, and we're just going to do a cut to hide the fact that he still has quite a way to go. We're just going to make it as if he's, jumping right out. We might need to get some momentum, like with this arm. Might need to jerk up quickly to get that to work. All right, let's start animating. Let's look at our droid. Zoom in on him, grab that controller, and I'm just going to hit full stop on my number keypad just to make him my focal point. Okay, so he's going to come up, and let's, I don't mind his pose, like here. So I'm going to enter pose mode, and I'm going to hit A to select all. I'm going to hit I to bring up my keyframe menu, and I'm going to keyframe up the whole character here at this moment. Here's our droid rig line in the dope sheet, so let's just bear that in mind. And then when we get to this full sort of up position, I need to get him balancing. So let's see, I'm going to rotate on the, that's right, we're going to have to change his angle with that. And there we go. That's something like this. Can I do the, yeah, cool, we can rotate him like this. And I do have auto key turned on, so that's automatically going to key for me. He's going to come up. And then I might like bring his foot up, like this right here. Maybe the other foot. Like bring it forward. I'm going to have him kind of like climb up the back like this. As soon as that lands, I'm going to have him kind of squat down and start bringing this foot up. Oops. I'm going to get a hold pose first. I have to do that. So what that means is I kind of want him to stay in this rough position with his foot and his body until this moment. So right here, so I'm going to hit I and W to keyframe the whole character. And then I'm going to come forward a little bit and I'll bring this foot up. Bring the body up. All right, now I want to be careful not to get too far off my root controller. So this might be, well, maybe I can reset it in between another shot. So, okay, get that rotated well. So I might rotate down a little bit, like this, a little bit up like that. Oh. I'm going to try and get him to counter move. So all right, now when do we want him to jump? Let's think about how this is supposed to play out. All right, so I need him to kind of jump already. So here, and then jump over to the other arm. I need to bring this forward a little bit. Goes up, shake. And then he's going to jump over. All right. Take a sip of coffee. Up. And that's a good moment when he kind of like bucks like that. Let's use that as the chance to jump. So we're going to have him up, down. So let's bring his look controller back up and bring him up a bit. So he's like, has some follow through. So once he kind of comes to here, I can bring it down like this. So that'll be good. I don't want to see that follow through happen a little bit sooner. Yeah, cool. He's already in a good pose for a jump. So let's see, we're going to lift off when we hit that top point. So right here, I kind of want to pose him for a jump. Kind of straight. And maybe start lifting this foot. Zoom into that foot. Just get it right. Might Alt R. That clears the rotation. I can make sure I get it right. See how this looks. So he's going to go down. Have to do a hold pose again. That's all right. Just grab his foot. Cool. Now what we're going to do here is at this frame, when he leaves, I want him to kind of leave here. We need to animate off the child of constraint that relates to this. So armature 2 is this guy, if I'm correct. Yep. All right. So let's set a keyframe for everything. So whole character, I, N, W. W right here is, by the way, whole character. There's the That's how I'm hitting that hotkey. And we want to come here, take the influence, and we'll keyframe it, and then we'll go to the next frame, and we'll set that to 0. Okay. Now he'll disappear. He's not actually gone. He's just moved off somewhere. He's down here. So if we come here, what we can do is Shift S, cursor to selected. And let's see, actually, I just want to select the root controller. Is that true? His origin's all the way over here. So how do I want to do this? I want to center him back up on his root, and I want to have his body roughly in this place. So really what I should do is select both of his feet, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then what I'll do is I'll come here, and then I'll grab his root controller, Shift S, selection to cursor. Do I want to get his origin as well? What matters? I don't think his origin matters. Doesn't matter. I'm not using the origin to move him, so. And that's the origin of the armature that I'm thinking of. So out of pose mode. I'm just leaving that alone, really, from this point. So, all right, so that's cool. And now what I want to do is I'm going to take all of his bones, deselect the root. I'm going to go Alt-R and Alt-G. That will clear everything out so he's back to his base pose. Now I can kind of just figure out what's the next frame supposed to look like. This. Forward a bit. See, at a moment like this is a good chance to like kind of just reset the rig. This is such a kind of quick, high action moment. Much easier to get the poses right. Okay. So now I can probably move him up and forward a bit more. And let's think about how long we want this jump to take. I mean, also too, we need to think about the direction. So let's get out of pose mode. Select this guy's rig. Figure out which one he is. All right, cool. I want to actually deselect everything. Alt A, box select, B to box select. So I've got the keys now for both of these two arms. Grab them back, forward. Okay. So he needs to be jumping towards this one. So we actually need to orient him a little bit different. Dun, 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 dun. So let's go back into our pose mode for our character. Let's grab the root controller and let's just orient him towards the arm there. Let's see, what does that look like? Is that going to be a bit weird or is that cool? Should be all right. All right, so I want him to land over here. Say it takes that many frames. So I'm going to hit G to grab and then Shift Z to turn off the Z. And I'll just bring him straight over and line him up on this guy. Somewhere like this. Should be good. And then we can go back. I have to look at those curves. It's a bit weird. I think this is origin moving. No, good. Okay, so let's have a look at the curves. So I'm going to hit Control Tab with my mouse over my dope sheet. That will bring me to my droid rig, and I can go to the master controller. We've got, oh, here it is. I need to fold it open. The object transform, remember, this is the armature. So the position of the armature in the world, but we don't want that. We want the master bone. So I'm going to grab the X, Y, and Z location. Also hit 0 on my number keypad to jump to the current frame. And let's have a look at what we got here. So I kind of want these to be pretty straight. Like I want him to kind of, do a straight shot. I want him to right now he's like kind of curving out. So one way to solve that kind of thing, so you can see here, you can see his root is kind of curving out as opposed to jumping straight in an arc. So when I select it and I grab the X, Y, and Z location, I can look at these curves and I can see right away that things aren't right. I can see that the Y location, which is him moving forward, is like kind of like fast and then it slows down. And the X location, which is this way, has a little bit of a curve to it, which I don't want that because I don't want him to curve out, curve in. I want him to go straight. So let's fix that. I'm going to take the X location and I'm going to just rotate these handles so they point at each other. Okay. And then I'm going to take the Y location and do the same thing. You can see now he's moving in a much more of a straight pattern. Still not quite perfect. Probably even just make these linear. So I can shift select these, right click, interpolation, linear. Or we could go handle type. Let's see, what do I want? Can I do aligned? I could go scale 0. The reason I'm debating is because when you change it to linear, it's going to affect the way the next keyframe behaves, like the way you go into it. And I don't always like that. So one way to like have a linear feel is to just scale the handles to 0. So select a keyframe, hit S and 0. This will keep it Bezier, so it won't affect how it interprets like the way it goes into the next keyframe, but it does make it more linear. All right, so now, yeah, it looks like he starts up a bit higher. This is the Z location, and then he gets a bit lower, which is right, because he's a bit higher with that arm at the start. But we want him to kind of jump, so he's got an arc. So we need to create an arc in the Z curve. So I can just grab this curve. And this one too, we can grab. Just pull that up. This. So he's going to have a nice arc. It's probably a little too much. I'm going to jump that high. Also, I feel like the peak of his arc is too late. Like, I feel like it should be like there, and they should really be falling from that point. Like right here should be the peak. All right, now let's see how that feels. So this feels like, let's just make sure our playback is set to synced audio. Good. This will drop a menu in our timeline. Just make sure that it just drops frames on playback. So we get a real time, like the actual 24 frames per second feel of the animation. There's a bit of a delay. I feel like he should be moving quicker or sooner. Maybe not. Let me turn all my controllers off, just make sure there's nothing. Yeah, it's a bit of a delay. I want him to be kind of right here, I think, going. So, okay, so let's figure out how to do that. I'm going to go back to the dope sheet. So to get that to work, we need to be mindful of all this stuff that we've set up, which is the, we turn off the influence of this constraint. So I might beat a box select, grab everything here for the droid rig for that whole jump animation. Let's just grab it back a bit and see how that feels. Yeah, I think it's a bit better. There's still, this is going to be a much larger jump because we've set this for a different point. So let's just fix that up. It doesn't need to be that high. Back down. Here a little bit. Yeah, good. Feel like there's something going on. Let's have a look at the master controller Z location. What is it about this? Make it a bit easier. I'm going to hit P to preview. Drag a box around this area. We just watch it. Look, I think it's pretty good. All right, let's speed him up. So I'm going to grab these and then grab X, shorten up that jump, change my preview range. A bit too much. Cool. All right, so now we need to constrain him to the new arm. So as soon as he lands, right here, it's also this position's a bit off, so let's change that. Using that G to grab Shift Z to turn off Z movement. It's one of my favorites. I just love doing it. So I can slide him around on a plane. I know that he's going to stick to that sort of general Z location. All right. Okay, let's IW on this one, and we will set up a new constraint. Now we've got first robot arm, second robot arm. This is, I'll call this one third robot arm. Go ahead and save as well. Now, which one's second? This is armature 1. What is this armature? This one is armature 3. Very badly named. All right, so, and we don't have one yet. Okay. I should probably rename these so they make sense. Armature is technically the 4th, right? Because of that's second. Oh, that's right. 3rd. Yep. All right. So let's add another child of constraint. We're going to target, get out of pose mode, target the armature.003. And we've been using which bone? Robo hand, looks like. Let's use the same way we did here. I think that worked well for that section. So robo hand. Go, and then let's set the inverse. Now, one thing about this is, it's true, I didn't think of that. The inverse, this is actually affects, because we're putting this constraint at the object level, not the bone level. Or if that's going to mess up what we've done previously. Yep. Well, not necessarily. Turn it off. Is it? Okay. Guess it's fine. Yeah, because the origin's not moving. Well, that's interesting. Why wouldn't the origin be moving? Oh, it is. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. The origin's moving. That's what I expected. Okay. So back to pose mode. We might have been able to simplify this by constraining just the bone, but then it would have been, I don't know if we could still animate the bone. I think we would still be able to animate. Yeah, just adds it. It's an additive thing. Always a better way to do something. All right, so I wanted to, this is the frame. So let's set I. So back into object mode. I'm going to go I, location rotation. That will set a keyframe here for his location rotation of the armature object, which is the one that we are constraining here, right? I'm going to set this a keyframe here for this to be 0. Then I'm going to go to the and then I'm going to Shift S, cursor to selected, which isn't going to put the cursor here, remember, because it's going to put it here where the origin of our armature is. Remember, we've animated the bones way off this origin, but that's fine. So with that cursor there, I can go to the next frame and I can set my influence now to 1, right? And then I can hit I, location rotation, and that just is a bit of a safety. So as we animate that influence on and off, we know that he's going to behave the way we expect. And it'll also behave the way we expect when we animate that off later. So it lands like that. Let's go into pose mode. Let's do some secondary motion here. So when he lands, I will grab him down like this. That kind of a pose. I might grab him back a bit like this for this one, right? So it's like yeah, that feels better. Feel that? Even back a bit more. Then he's going to stand up. I reckon he's going to turn and look in the direction that he's going to head. Legs are getting a little funky. It's probably a bit too far. Oh, there we go. Just need to offset his body a bit. So probably can get away with putting it over here. Not that foot. Move this foot. Maybe it is too far. All right, so we need to get him to kind of reorient himself. So he's good here. Let's find the moments that we like. So I'm going to hit Alt P to clear my preview range. And I'm going to move forward. And let's see. I think I'll start it here. So I'm going to go IW to do his full body, everything. Control Tab to get out of there. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we'll need to offset this because it's happening a bit too quick, I think. Get this foot where I want it. Now, so his foot doesn't just like slide like that. What I like to do is kind of find the midpoint of this action and then grab this foot and lift it up. So now he does like a you can see this whole action is just happening much too quickly for us to really register what's happening. So we need to pace it out. Right, so let's come to this armature. And what we could do is actually, because I like the action and I like the way they kind of coordinate. So let me just deselect everything, and then I'll beat a box like that and beat a box like this, again, which is the animations for our two armatures, or two robot arms. And then what I can do is I can come right here and hit S to scale and just slide these out. This is going to slow down that whole animation. So you can see now he's in the right position. Oof. We need more performance with these arms as well. I think we will tackle that in the next episode. So if you've enjoyed this and you liked watching me animate and learn a few things, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out all the other videos. Look at a lot of other stuff, a lot of edited content as well. This series, which will be continuing on and on and on until we're done. So I hope you're enjoying it. Thanks so much for watching. Check out the Patreon. Special thanks to everybody supporting over on Patreon, and everybody that supports on YouTube as a channel member. Everyone really amazing. I appreciate you, and thank you for helping make content like this happen. So let's just watch one more time what we made today. This little animation jumps. Ching. Whoa. So we'll carry on next with this bit and catch you in the next one. Until then, have a great week. See ya.